My friends, there are a few things that I like better than an ultralight rifle chambered in 280 Ackley Improved. And right here I've got one of, if not the best, on the market that comes as an ultralight rifle already chambered in my favorite all-time, across the spectrum cartridge for Western big game. This is Weatherby's Mark V with the 6-lug action, that little petite action in the Backcountry 2.0 configuration. And I've set it up, I've been shooting it a little bit, and I just love it. I want to tell you about this rifle in case you want one of your own. First, it's not crazy expensive. The suggested retail is $2,650, and you'll find it for less than that on the market, which is what you get a really, really good price. And let me qualify that, right? This is not just a production grade action. The Mark V 6-lug is an extraordinary action that's built to true custom action tolerances and specifications. It's petite in diameter. In fact, the 6-lug Mark V is so small it actually won't even hold a Magnum cartridge. It'll hold cartridges like the 280 Ackley Improved, the 6.5 Weatherby RPM, the 338 Weatherby RPM, and of course all the classics like the 270 Winchester, 30-06, and so forth. And yes, you can get this rifle in those cartridges. I just like something a little different and something that gives me, cutting edge ballistics and performance out of a cartridge that's kind of a cult classic, the 280 Ackley Improved. So let's just start kind of at the very back end of this rifle and talk about what's cool. First, it's got this hex technology recoil pad that Weatherby patented. It's 3D printed. It's one of the first 3D printed recoil pads ever made. And it's actually incredibly good at what it does while being very, very light in weight. That's one of the keys to the stupid lightweight this rifle is, which, by the way, let's touch on that. Set up with this scope and the bipod attached. This rifle is 6 pounds, 14 ounces. Take the bipod off to go up the hill because it's a quick detach bipod, right? Spartan Precision Equipment Javelin Pro just attaches into that socket with rare earth magnets. My all-time favorite backcountry hunting bipod. Take that bipod off. This rig weighs 6 pounds, 6 ounces with that Leupold scope aboard. But I'm getting sidetracked already. So we got the 3D printed ultralight recoil pad, and it's mounted to the back end of a Peak 44 Blacktooth stock. Now, Peak 44 is a sister company of Weatherby, and they build a beautiful carbon fiber stock. They make them for Remington 700 type rifles. Of course, for all of Weatherby's rifles, built on the Mark V actions and the Vanguard actions. And they also make them for Tikka actions now. Worth knowing. Moving forward, the rifle, of course, is fit with that marvelous 6-lug action. Got beautiful deep spiral fluting that helps remove any excess weight. Don't know if you can see it very well there, but even the bolt knob is hollowed out and skeletonized. Really, really cool design. 54-degree bolt, so it's fast. So you can see it. That safety, when engaged, locks the bolt, and safety that locks the bolt on the back end forward to fire. This specific rifle does not have a blind magazine, which makes that ultralight weight even more impressive. It's got a proper hinged floor plate that you can open to dump a magazine box full of live cartridges out of when you're done hunting and ready to put the rifle away. Trigger Tech trigger, that's a nice feature, comes with it, right? Very easily user adjustable with a click detent screw in there. One of the easiest to adjust triggers I've ever used. The action is well mated into the stock, glass bedded on a semi-production scale, so it's not necessarily the same level of glass bedding you'd find from a custom gunsmith, but it's pretty dang good. And then it's free floated around the barrel. Speaking of which, the barrel itself is, I'd call it pencil thin, noodle thin. It's a true ultralight mountain weight barrel with fluting, radial muzzle brake out on the end that's nice and effective. This is another key element to why this rifle is so light. There's just not a lot of weight and mass in the barrel. Now, as you might suspect, as a result, it's a little bit hard to shoot super accurately. Ultralight rifles undergo a lot more dynamics through the recoil impulse, right? They're just not as much mass, so they move more, they flex more, they jump more, up, down, sideways, back. That makes it harder for you, the shooter, to control it consistently through recoil, which is crucial for maintaining accuracy. Lightweight also means this rifle isn't going to just lay there like a big fat hog in a bog, right? It's going to be affected by your heart rate, by your breathing, by muscle tremors and everything else. So shooting an ultra lightweight rifle is a skill in and of itself that's worth discussing at some point, but that's a topic for another time. The ultralight barrel, that very thin profile, is another, I'll say, characteristic or factor in accuracy. It's not a detriment because you're trading, right? You're trading weight for a characteristic that can affect accuracy. If you're carrying too much weight, you won't get to your shooting spot with your rifle in time to kill that elk that's moving through the saddle at 12,000 feet altitude or whatever. And yes, I've been in that situation. What I'm trying to say here is this thin barrel will hold accuracy for about 3 rounds, and then it probably will start to open up. I've shot this rifle with a bunch of different types of ammo, and it comes, believe it or not, even with that lightweight and that extremely thin barrel, comes with a sub-inch accuracy guarantee at 100 yards. Well, it's sub-MOA is the way they phrase it. And this rifle has met that with 2 or 3 different ammunition types, including the Swift 150 grain Sirocco 2 bullet as loaded by Weatherby. And yes, Weatherby's loading 280 Ackley ammo. I've got some of Hornady's Precision Hunter here with 162 grain ELDX. That's another great load, very aerodynamic, nice to shoot. I've tested Nosler ammunition in it and Federal ammunition, 155 grain terminal ascents, several great loads. The rifle shot them all reasonably well. Everything under, let's say, 1.5 inches, and it shot its favorite loads under 1 inch. I trust it. It shoots well. It shoots consistently. It's not a 1/2 inch gun. And that's okay. That is just fine. If you want a rifle that shoots closer to that 1/2 inch mark, my advice would be to spend the extra $600 or whatever it takes to go up to the version of this Backcountry 2.0 rifle with the carbon fiber barrel on it by BSF. They're a tensioned carbon fiber barrel with a true match grade stainless steel core, and they tend to just shoot lights out. I've tested several of them. All of them, with the right load, will shoot 1/2 inch groups. You might have to hand load to achieve it, but that's true of any good rifle, right? Hand loads are often the key to 1/2 inch goodness at 100 yards. So before we fire a few shots with this, let me just tell you about how I set it up. This is a Spartan bipod. I talked about that, mounted in a new, I think they call it the universal adapter. It's made so you don't have to remove your sling swivel stud. It just attaches to the swivel stud. So it's really nice for high-end rifles that you don't want to mess with, right, other than putting your bipod on it. My scope here is a 3.5 to 10 power Leupold VX3 HD high definition glass with a CDS ZL turret on top. What does that mean? That means that it's got the custom dial system. Each of these scopes comes with a voucher for a free dial that's custom engraved to match the ballistics with your ammunition and your rifle. You just put it on, replace the minute of angle dial with that one. The ZL means it's zero locking. So that little silver button right there locks the turret. It won't spin off when you slide it across your truck seat or into a saddle scabbard or against your backpack just the wrong way like a lot of dial-up turrets will. It also has a zero stop. So when you've dialed up for that 400-yard shot, you're approaching your downed animal and you want to be ready, you dial it back down to zero, you just dial it until you hit that hard stop and it clicks and locks into place. I mounted this scope in Tally lightweight alloy rings in the low height. I like to get my scopes nice and close to my rifle action. So it's not top heavy, it gives it a little better balance. And that's about it. That's the nuts and bolts of this fine Weatherby Backcountry 2.0 rifle, chambered in 280 Ackley Improved. And yes, while there are a bunch of other cartridges available in this rifle, the 280 Ackley is my favorite. And I'm just delighted that Weatherby is building this model in my favorite cartridge. Let's burn some powder. Okay, and the other thing I'm going to do, although the Swift bullets in my Weatherby ammo tend to shoot a little better out of this rifle, I'm going to go ahead and shoot the Hornady stuff just because I have a lot more of it, and I'm saving that Swift stuff for an upcoming hunt. Anyway, we'll just put a few shots on target, show you how the rifle shoots, how smooth it is through recoil, how nicely it functions, and so forth. By the way, looking at the rifle here, one characteristic of it that I forgot to mention is this little level bubble. It's made by a company that I think is called Iota. Yeah, Horizon Firearms markets it, and I really like it. It's a good little level bubble. Okay, fire in the hole. Touching center. That'll do. 2 bullets touching. See if we can make that 3. Awesome. Folks, that's I said this isn't a 1/2-inch rifle, but that group is pushing a 1/2 inch. Pretty cool. And that's not even with ammo that I'd say this rifle absolutely loves. So dead thrilled to see that. I will say, as it's broken in, I'm probably nearing 120, 130 rounds at this point. As it's broken in, it's getting more and more accurate gradually. So that's pretty cool too. And with that, you can see it feeds like butter. It ejects really well. The trigger is nice, it's very adjustable, and recoil is pretty dang smooth, even though this is only a 6-pound, 6-ounce rifle, completely set up. So hard to beat a rifle like this when you're going up country that'll make your tough old granddaddy from Alaska cry, right? In really rugged terrain, an ultra lightweight rifle like this one from Weatherby can make or break the difference, because it makes it so you can climb without having a giant, heavy, snaggy rifle on your back. And with this kind of performance, when the moment of truth comes, you can close the deal because it's reliable and it's accurate. Thanks for tuning in, folks, and watching today. I'm Joseph Von Benedict, and this is the Backcountry Hunting Podcast. I'll see you all out there.